Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. The different textures, colors, and feels of women's clothes were very appealing to me. I started spending time in my mom's closet and found some of her old clothes before they were taken to the thrift store. I would try them on whenever I could. Under my loose tracksuit, I liked to wear really pretty girly clothes. It gave me a lot of pleasure to know that no one else could see that I was wearing them. One weekend that would change my life, my mom had to go to work out of the blue because there were problems that needed to be fixed before Monday. My father had to work away this weekend, and my mother couldn't leave me alone. So she came into my room quickly and said that we had to leave right away. She told me that I had to spend the day with her best friend, Helen. I didn't have time to change, but I didn't worry about it too much. Helen was fun and easy to get along with, and she lived on her own. Mom took me to school and then ran off to work. The day started out pretty normally, but then Helen called me out to the backyard to help her move some leaf litter to the compost pile. I didn't even give a thought to what I was wearing under my tracksuit. I helped her until everything was fixed. A lot of the fallen leaves were wet and dirty, so they all got on my tracksuit. I looked terrible from head to toe. When Helen saw how bad I looked, she was very upset. Afraid that my mother would get angry if she saw how dirty I was, she sent me to the laundry without giving me a choice. She told him, "Okay, honey, put your clothes in the washing machine. I have a tracksuit you can wear until they're dry." You can't even imagine how scared I was. I didn't know how to hide what I was wearing underneath. I wanted her to leave me alone so I could take off my pretty things and hide them. But no way. "Come on, sweetie, hurry up. Don't be shy." I just stood there without moving. She bugged me again and said she would do it herself if I didn't hurry, or they wouldn't be dry again before my mom got home. She reached out to me and said, "I don't have time for this pedal." Before I knew it, she saw what I was wearing. She said, "Oh my God, you're wearing girls' clothes." I turned bright red and felt so embarrassed that my whole body shook. Even my knees felt weak. She asked with a smile, "Does your mom let you wear these?" I mumbled, "Well, she doesn't really know." She said, "I can see why you didn't want to change." As she stood back and looked at me, she seemed to get red in the face. "I'm sorry, honey, I didn't mean to embarrass you. I was worrying about whether you would mind wearing my pink tracksuit." Well, she thought for a moment. "Wait a minute," she said as she ran out of the laundry room, leaving me. Soon after, she came back and handed me a dress, tights, and shoes. I turned very red again.
Don't worry, sweet pea. You look beautiful. I think you'd look better in a dress than in tracksuit pants. What do you say? Are you up for it?" I was shocked. I thought she would go crazy. But the thought of me wearing such girly clothes really made her laugh. I started to get a big smile on my face when I realized that she didn't mind and that I could dress up like a girl all the way. Before long, I was completely dressed as a girl. I loved every minute of it. And she took me to her room and played with my hair, put a little makeup and perfume on me, and then played with it some more. It was like a dream coming true. Not long after, someone knocked on the front door. I suddenly thought about how soon my mom would be back to pick me up. I started to feel scared and wanted to take them all off so badly. Helen told me not to worry because Mom wouldn't be back until tea time. Probably one of her friends. She went downstairs to answer the door, and I stayed in her room until she came back and gave me the all clear. I could hear her and another woman laughing, but I couldn't understand what they were talking about. A few minutes later, I heard their footsteps getting closer, and before I could hide, the door opened and Helen and her friend walked right in. "Don't worry, it's just Madeline, a friend of mine. I just had to show her how beautiful you look in that dress," Helen said with a big smile and a twinkle in her eye. I didn't know what to do, so I just gave a weak smile and tried to hide how embarrassed I was. Madeline laughed. "Yes, don't worry. Helen told me all about you. We thought it would be funny to call you by a girl's name because it goes with your dress. How about Jessie? I think you look beautiful. I think boys should be able to dress like girls and girls should be able to dress like boys sometimes." "Fair's fair." She laughed again, then turned to Helen and said, "I'd love to get my husband into something pretty so he could feel what it's like too." She laughed.
I suddenly felt surrounded and overwhelmed by all this femininity. My clothes, the smell of the room, and the happy, friendly women who were laughing and smiling as they looked at me. Part of me that wanted to run away seemed to dissolve into the air. I don't remember ever feeling so at ease, happy, and connected. The rest of the afternoon was spent in the kitchen. We sat at the table overlooking the garden and ate, giggled, drank, and laughed. It was heaven for me to wear such beautiful clothes and hang out with two beautiful women who treated me like their little sister. Their talk was all over the place. They talked about serious things, funny stories, and everything in between. I loved hearing how funny they were. When women are together, they are so much more natural and relaxed. It made me wonder why adults wear such masks in public, as if they were acting in a play, every time a different person. Soon the lights started to go out and Helen started making dinner. Madeline gave them both more wine and also made sure to give me juice in the same kind of glass. God, that dress suits you so well. It brings out the color in your hair and eyes. You look so sweet. I remember when I was your age, I used to love really girly things too. You were way too much, dear, Helen said. Madeline laughed and said, Yes, I guess I was pretty cute. If you've got it, show it off. I spent most of my time dressed as a boy. I hated anything frilly, and dresses used to make me itch. I hardly ever wore one until I saw how much boys liked me in them. Helen laughed. Madeline laughed. How typical of Helen, but you do like girly clothes, don't you? I mean, Helen, you look pretty good dressed up as a girl. Very good, Maddie.
Yeah, it's fun to dress up sometimes, and it feels great to be femme, but, well, to each his own. I'm sure if you were a man, you'd be a drag queen for sure. Yeah, you're probably right. It doesn't take much to get me in a dress.
Madeline laughed. We all had a good laugh. In the middle of all our laughing, the smell of the food, perfume, and wine, to my total and complete shock, who would just walk into the kitchen without saying anything? Yeah, my mom. Helen and Madeline were half drunk and laughing by the bench, and I was laughing at the table, dressed as a little girl from head to toe, and a bow in my hair. Like the other two women, I had makeup on my face and a wine glass in my hand. We'd totally forgotten what time it was. I should have been back in my tracksuit a long time ago. Oh, no! Mom looked shocked to the core. We all had shocked looks on our faces. Only the sound of the frying pan sizzling on the stove could be heard. No one knew what to say, and my two adult friends didn't know what to say either. What is going on? Why are you dressed like that? I think I dropped off a little boy today. Well, hello. Is anyone here? Maybe I should go outside and try again. Maybe I'll see someone I know when I come back in, and maybe someone will explain this to me. Well, Jan, it's like... Well, Helen, you explain it since it was your idea, Madeline muttered.
Yes, Helen, it's your job. Remember when I left my son with you this morning? Remember how you said you'd take care of him? Is this what you call taking care of him? Getting drunk and turning him into a girl? Are you for real?
Madeline suddenly started to giggle again. When she said that, Helen laughed along with her. Mom yelled, "Come on, you two! I've been stressed out all day trying to get those idiots at work to get it together for once.
And then I come home to the people I trust and find this. You're so irresponsible. Oh, Jan, chill out, as they say. You always jump to the worst possible conclusions. Thank God I'm not married to you. You must drive him crazy. Chill out. It's all very innocent, and we were all having a great time before you blew in," Helen said. Dressing my son as a girl, you mean? Oh, God. So what, Jan? Even you used to play dress-up, remember? I do. I couldn't keep my anger from Mom any longer. I wanted to, Mom. Really, it's not Helen or Madeline's fault. I wanted to. I like it. I love it. She caught me wearing your things. I've been wearing girls' clothes for years. I couldn't tell you because you're so angry at everyone all the time. No one is good enough for you. And Helen and Madeline aren't angry. They're fun to be with. And they like me like this. I burst into tears. Mom came over to me and put out her arm, but I pushed her away. I'm sick of you being angry all the time. No matter what I do or who I'm with, you're awful to be with. Really awful. I cried and cried. When she heard that, my mother also began to cry.
I'm sorry, Jan, but I have to say it. You know how much we love you, but you've been a pain lately. We're not your enemy. I don't like being called irresponsible by a parent who is too busy to spend time with their child. It's not all about you. You have a beautiful child who needs you to be a great person for her. I mean, how old he is. Why don't you hang out with him for a while? Helen started crying and said,
She's great. I wish more men were like him.
Mom looked at me as if she wanted me to comfort her, but I turned away because I was still mad that she had ruined a really nice day. Then she came over and gave me a tight hug, saying,
I'm sorry, honey.
I didn't know. I love you. Without going into too much detail, this was a major turning point in my life and hers. We all hugged and gently cried together. It was a very special moment. Work is done, dinner is cooking, your husband is out of town, and you're with your best friends. Life is good, Madeline said. Let's enjoy ourselves and each other. We spent the rest of the night giggling, laughing, playing Scrabble, dancing, and joking. I was dressed as a girl the whole time. My mother really let loose. We joked and teased each other. Around 11 o'clock, long after I would have gone to bed, I finally collapsed in a feminine heap on the couch. We'll be up a little later. Love, Mom? The next morning, I went downstairs and got some cereal to eat. I put on my dressing gown and sat down at the table. After about an hour, I heard my mother's steps and felt her close to me. She stood behind me and stroked my hair gently while her arms were over me. She said, It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Yes, Mom, it's great, I told her. You might think that my story ends here or that it's not true. I can tell you it really did happen, though. Not only did it happen once, but it became a regular thing for us all. Whenever we could get away from the men in our families, we would all get together at Helen's or Madeline's house. I would dress up as one of the girls every time. I didn't cross-dress much at home, mostly so we could all feel the same. Mom let me wear anything I wanted from then on, but it was hard to do when Dad was around. It was always easy, relaxed, and normal when I got together with the girls. When we were at Helen or Maddie's house, my mom and I were more like older and younger sisters. It was so beautiful. I love all of them. It became normal for me to go shopping with them and for them to also buy me things. I was always a part of things, but not as a boy, but as a girl. You might be surprised to learn that I'm now happily married and have 2 kids of my own. My wife knows everything about how I spent parts of my childhood and teenage years as a girl. We're still great friends with Maddie, Helen, and of course my mom. And yes, I do cross-dress with the girls when we are all together, but most of the time I am my male self. My wife loves me no matter what, and I love her for it. She has always wanted to be with a complete person, not just a role model, but I'm her boyfriend, not her girlfriend. She does like it when I wear something pretty and silky, though. What a pleasure it is to be alive. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.